What is going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Today we're going to be doing another album review, and that is going to be to somewhat controversial, I guess. Some people hate it, some people love it, but we are going to talk about it here today and find out who is kind of correct. And that is going to be the debut album from Kingdom Come, self-titled. So this here does come out in 1988, debut album produced by Bob Rock, actually. And that is obviously a lot of people knew Bob Rock. He does a whole line he produces a whole line of albums, hard rock albums, metal albums, and such. You also have Lenny Wolf on lead vocals, Danny on lead guitar, Rick on rhythm guitar, Johnny on bass, and then also James on the drums. And first and foremost, we can get this out of the way. A lot of people, when you talk about Kingdom Come, especially the debut album, which we're talking about, give they always first thing that comes out of their mouth is, "Oh, is that the Led Zeppelin sounding band or copycat or ripoff band?"
What?
I do not agree with that at all. Yes, they do have Led Zeppelin influence, but I would say it's certainly not a copycat. Yeah, Lenny does have a little bit of a Robert Plant sound to him. Some of the guitar riffs on here do sound like something Jimmy Page might do. The drumming from James is absolutely good. Very Led Zeppelin style. It is a Led like it's kind of like comparing it to Greta Van Fleet of the modern day. I don't care if they sound like Led Zeppelin. I don't care if they sound like Rush or whatever band you want to compare it to. Even like Evil or Eval, I guess, depending how you say it. The newer modern thrash band, I guess within the last 20 years they came out, but they sound like Slayer. The debut album really sounded like Slayer, and who cares? I mean, it's not. I appreciate when a band shows their influences, and as long as as long as they do truly original stuff, which I think Kingdom Come certainly does, and Greta Van Fleet certainly does. I think there's plenty more that we can discuss than saying, "Hey, this sounds like Led Zeppelin," and I'm not going to give this band a try just because they're trying to sound like Led Zeppelin. I, I I'm not ever really in that mind space or in that view of a band. Yes, like I said, if you're influenced by well, if Led Zeppelin is one of your major influences, I expect your music to somewhat sound like Led Zeppelin. I don't get the hate for showing your influences. I don't know. Let me know in the comments too what you guys kind of think of that. So let us go to the album and talk about the track list and some of the certifications that this album got. So definitely this album did go gold, which is somewhat not surprising to me. I'm actually kind of surprised that it got to number 12 on the US top 200 Billboard charts. That actually kind of surprised me. Not so much the gold, because I kind of even thought it would have even had a chance to go platinum, depending on the reception. Now, there were magazines out in the day and such that did kind of some gave shit, yes, but some actually gave it decent reviews, like 4 out of 5s and such. But you did have a couple singles on here. Get It On, which I believe they did have a music video for, and yes, that is the song that most people do know about when you're talking Kingdom Come. That was actually not the very first song that I heard of Kingdom Come. My first song, I think, was either Living Out of Touch or Pushing Hard. And I always put those two songs first when I think of Kingdom Come. The other two singles were What Love Can Be, which is the ballad, decent ballad. And then the third is Loving You, but I think that was kind of like a Japan thing. But I would certainly say Get It On was a good single to start off with, I guess. I would really like to have seen Living Out of Touch or Pushing Hard as a single more so than some of these other ones. Now, yes, 1988, we're talking about ballads, What Love Can Be. Okay, well, I get it. Well, that's gonna be a single. But you got 48 minutes here total, 10 tracks. Solid album. I don't like I said. I came across this from my dad and uncle. They were big fans of Kingdom Come back in the day when this came out. And so since I've been like 12, 13, Kingdom Come has been in my ears. I known Kingdom Come, have their albums over here. So definitely this one here is gonna somewhat be easy to review and that's why I kind of stand on like I don't listen to Led Zeppelin anymore. I listened to Led Zeppelin when I was in my early teens, and as I kept growing older, I'm like, okay, this shit's just starting to get way too played out on the radio, and even like the deeper cuts and stuff. It's just like I'd rather listen to other stuff, and Kingdom Come is certainly one of those other things that I would rather listen to than Led Zeppelin, or anything like that. Like I probably haven't listened to Led Zeppelin for years now. Just I have no interest. Not that they're a bad band or anything like that. By all means, because I have all their albums still over here. Like that's not the point. What I'm getting at. It's just I want to hear newer things, and people always, greatest band of all time, Led Zeppelin, or what have you. And I don't know. I just would rather listen to something else than Led Zeppelin. Same thing with like Pink Floyd too, but that's a whole nother discussion that we could have.
I am Jason Myers from the band Icarus Witch, and you are listening to the Krash Kourse Metal Show, featuring Trevor Krash Knight, the next generation's voice of classic heavy metal.
Living Out of Touch leads off the album. Great. Good song. One of my favorite, certainly off this album. You got Pushing Hard, another fast-paced, hard song, very good, to the point, decent lyrics too, and that's a good amount of these songs do have pretty good lyrical content on here. In these, What Love Can Be is the ballad, decent. I mean, not probably not a top 50 ballad for me, off the top of my head. So it is what it is. It's decent. It's listenable when it comes on. I'm not gonna hate it at all. Fourth track, 17. I do actually enjoy this. I like the bass. That's another thing. The drumming on here is very good. It has a very good sound, very good drum sound to it. And also the bass. I like where the bass is in the mix on some of these songs. Very noticeable. Really dig it. Really dig it there. The shuffle. Good, a decent up pace type song. And now going to the second half here, and that is Get It On, which is the sixth track. So I will say the first half is probably the strongest of the two, but you start off with the second track, or you start off with the second side with a very strong track, one of the most known Kingdom Come songs, Get It On. So now is when, so in the next four tracks here, 7, 8, 9, and 10, I like Hideaway a lot, the 8 track, 5.5 minutes long, the longest song on the album, actually, which is, but I dig it. I like it. I like how it builds up. The chorus leads into the verses lead into the chorus. Very good stuff. But as far as the other three, Now Forever After, Loving You, Shout It Out, I can give or take them depending on the day of when I'm listening to this album. Generally speaking, when I put this album on, I let it play through. But sometimes those songs will get skipped, or maybe I'll just hit the showers early with this album. But overall, though, you got 10 tracks, solid tracks. It's a solid album, and I want to read. I want to start doing these reviews. I want to start reading some other people's reviews and just see like where we are at. If I'm kind of like on the outside looking in, or if I'm kind of on the inside with everybody here. So first one here is from Classic Rock Review. So what he says is, quote, despite the over-the-top Zeppelin comparisons, the main riff for the opener, Living Out of Touch, is more Robin Trower than Jimmy Page. The verse contains a calm strum over consistent bass and drum beat, with the riff returning during the chorus to give the song a much driving and intense vibe. Pushing Hard, more standard 80s hair metal, albeit with some good dynamics as the midsection. So I kind of agree with that. Pushing Hard does kind of have that more 80s hair metal feel, but I think Get It On kind of does too. Although Get It On does have that kind of progressive, not progressive feel, but it does change a little bit. Just so, some parts it's more riff driven, and then some parts it changes pace. So you know, just in that little quote there from Classic Rock Review. I mean, with Living Out of Touch, I guess does have that Led Zeppelin feel to it as well. But I mean, they're influenced by Led Zeppelin. Give me a fucking physical break here. It's like it's I don't see it as a copycat. So let's go to another one here real quick. All right. This is from Spin Diddy. Kingdom Come still holds up as a worthy listen for fans of 80s hair metal melodic rock, even if it's obviously not the most original thing ever to come down the pike. Hell, in this day and age, current retro rockers like Greta Van Fleet are consistently praised for their similarities to Led Zeppelin. So it's a mystery to me why poor Kingdom Come got so much flack for it, which I agree, because that's something that I always heard even when I was growing up in the mid 2000s and such. Like whenever I look back or look at comments on YouTube or whatever, that is the thing a lot of people come back to. And that's what a lot of people, when I remember when Greta Van Fleet came out, what now, 8 years ago, give or take or so, I remember people comparing them to ripoffs of Led Zeppelin. And I'm like, what does it matter really? Like it's their own music. It's just very influenced by Led Zeppelin and Rush, or all of their influences. And I just don't I don't understand the hate, because if no band showed their influence, would we have really any new music? I have problems with the hatred of people saying that certain bands sound like certain bands. And when you start diving into a certain band, you will realize they have their own original feel and flavor to, say, their influences. So I kind of don't, with very few exceptions, maybe, that I would be like, okay, maybe they don't really have nothing different to offer. But even off the top of my head right now, I can't think of any. I'm something might hit me in the middle of the night, as far as a band that is like that. But as of what I'm thinking about right now, I don't know. I can't think of anything that is so hateful to where I'm like, oh God, that band sucks, or because of that. So those are just a couple little mini reviews that I see here that I wanted to talk about. And I guys, All Music and Kerrang gave this album 4 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to go that high, but it is very good. I'm giving it at least a 3, possibly even 3.5 on some days. Just because I think the last half, or the last 15 minutes of the album, is a little weaker than the rest. But generally speaking, though, the instruments, the music, the lyrics are all fine. I like it. I don't get a total Led Zeppelin clone. Yes, influences. Yes, influences. Yes, I want to beat that to death. Influences. Yes, but not a clone. I don't know. And even, is it my favorite Kingdom Come album? I don't know, actually, because I really enjoy the next one, In Your Face, from '89, and I also like what, Hands of Time, I believe, from '91. Yeah, not Hands of Time. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think that's even kind of underrated. I don't think it's my favorite Kingdom Come, but maybe we might have to come back around to that and maybe do a ranking of Kingdom Come's albums. And but no, so for this one here, the debut, I mean, it's a good album. Nothing hateful towards it for me. I like it a lot. I give it a 3, like I said, possibly even 3 out of 5 on some days. And very good stuff. I think if you are a Led Zeppelin fan, please check out Kingdom Come. I'm sure you will enjoy stuff on here. And because obviously we're not getting any new Led Zeppelin music. So why not take bands that have that influence of Led Zeppelin and have them broaden it, broaden that sound, and have put their own spin on it too at the same time. That's where I'm at with a lot of these bands. Like, as far as like people saying they're copycats and stuff, hey, I'm cool. With that, show your influence. I'm all good with that. I appreciate that. Especially if I have the same likes and loves of your influences, and we have the same influences. Dude, that's awesome. Like, I'm totally down with that, and I want to hear what your vision and art is to their art. I think that's what music is all about, and I'm cool with that. So, guys, that is Kingdom Come, the debut. Let me know what you guys think of this album, or do you think it's a copycat? Let me know what you guys think. Am I wrong here? Am I wrong looking on the outside in with this? Has time changed that? Has the last 30 years or so kind of changed the perception of Kingdom Come? And because I think they kind of got the raw end of the deal as far as them kind of being, hey, yeah, they're just a copycat clone. Let's not talk about these guys that much. So let me know in the comments, guys.
Talk to me.
But thank you for watching. And guys, if you enjoy us talking about these unknown and forgotten bands and albums and just heavy metal in general, click the subscribe button. Hang out with us for a little while. Join the party. And we will certainly be bringing you guys more stuff here. But until next time, guys, stay out of that collateral damage. If you guys enjoyed this review, check this one out right here.
Yeah, I wrote that. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses it says to the break of dawn.